Andrew McCart, iFLTV. Delighted to be joined by my brother, Qais Ashfaq. Qais, listen, I was last month, I was down in Barnsley for the Simpson fight, and then you were there doing a little bit of media work for a change. It was good to see you asking some questions rather than answering them. But it's for us to get an interview, it sort of just slipped away a little bit, just with timings for me to get back to Barnsley from Sheffield and whatnot. But I finally got a hold of you. Now, when I was in Sheffield and when we were in Barnsley, you were talking about a possible fight against Danny Quartermaine. I just want to jump straight into it. What can you tell me? What's happened?
So yeah, like I say, I was very vocal at the GBM press conference in Sheffield, Rotherham, that sort of area, and spoke to Adam Smith there, spoke to Izzy there, and on camera, I've got both. You know, they both want the fight, and it's clear to see they don't want the fight because it's a proper fight. You know what I mean? But so we put the fight to them, and they were both happy about it. But now, you know, it's been a certain amount of time since that, a month or so, whatever it is. But it seems as though Danny and his coach, they're trying to get away from it and they don't want the fight for whatever reason. I'm hearing all sorts of, you know, no reasoning behind it. But yeah, like, see, I think I've lost a bit of respect for Danny and his coach, really, because they've not fought nobody. They're kind of like, the way they're trying to make out is like, oh, they're levels above me, which is clearly not fact. And I've been saying it for a long time. If he's willing to fight proper people, and he's got 2 belts. For me, champions fight good fighters. They don't take the easy route out. And like I said, you know about the last 2 fights. His last fight, he fought James Cherigi, a kid who had 8 days notice, and he had a very rough time with him. The fight before that, he fought a kid called Alex Rat, both title fights. Another guy that I've heard with a late notice fight, and for me, I don't know, it's the way he's going along so far. It's very clear to me that he's looking for easy fights, and that's clearly why he don't want to fight me. And like I say, it's an annoying situation for me personally because it'd be the perfect fight for him. If he can beat me, great on him. You know what I mean? But I believe I beat him all day long, and I believe they're very worried about being in that position where I beat him and take the belts off him.
Are you in a position where, again, you're saying that you've lost a little bit of respect for his coach and his team, Danny's, but do you think that maybe he's looking at you thinking high risk, low reward sort of thing? Or do you think that he just sort of doesn't want to fight because, again, I don't want to put words in his mouth or in his teams and that they might be worried or scared that they might take that loss?
Yeah, like I say, I may be high risk, low reward. That could be a reasoning, but then it's also they're talking about all moving up levels and fighting good kids. And I know with Izzy having DAZN on board now, DAZN always want good fights, and if they're not making the good fights, then DAZN won't be happy on top of that. But like I said, it seems to me that the type of kid who wants the easy routes out. Him and his coach, they want the easy route out, and I'll be interested to see who they do decide to fight next, if not me, because like I say, it's the reason I've lost respect for him is because, again, champions fight good fighters, and they don't look for the easy route out. He's got the belts, but he's clearly not willing to back it up. And I do believe, again, he's worried about me being levels above him and beating him all day long.
When I look at the super featherweight rankings, there's Reece Bellotti, who's tied up with a fight coming up in October. You've got Jazza Dickens, who's fighting out in Dubai. You've got Josh Warrington. You've got Ryan Garner, who's off a good win. You've got Selfa Barrett. Do you feel that for Danny to get to those sort of fights where we're talking the top 5, 6 in Britain, that he has to go through you?
I believe so. I know they were chasing a fight with Bellotti next, which from what I've heard didn't happen. But again, coming from Bellotti, he's not fought nobody, and it's like giving a kid a British title shot at top level on another DAZN platform on Matchroom Boxing. Well, what has he done to deserve that? If that makes sense. Whereas me, for example, he might say the same thing about me, but for me, 2-3 fights ago, I've been on Warren Bills fighting for the Commonwealth title. I've been on Wasserman Bills fighting for a British title. I've got the pedigree, and it makes no sense for them to say, "Oh no, we don't want to fight him." Apart from they're worried that I beat him.
What again? What do you need to do to get yourself in position? I know you've fought for the British title and which was a great fight against, was it Liam Dillon? I think it was back then. That was,
I fight that I thought I won, to be fair, but
aye, that was a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, was it not? It seems a wee while ago.
about a year and a half thing, yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously the Mason Abdullah fight, then you've come back and you've had a fight which is way above your weight division. I think it was it not like super, no, lightweight or
That
super?
was, I think, about lightweight it was, but again, just a takeover because
Yeah, yeah.
the British boxing board, they don't let you fight for titles again unless you get a win.
Right. So obviously, but you've had that win. You've got that win, which is obviously puts you back in that sort of position to fight for titles. But do you need a big name yourself, and like a big scout from the UK to get yourself in position for these fights? Or do you feel like because of your pedigree as the Olympian, the GB squad, fighting for the British title and a cracking fight against Liam Dillon, do you think that you are there already? You just haven't won those titles yet.
You see, that's where it gets irritating for me because I'd fight anyone.
Mhm.
Even if it is a non-title fight against a good kid, I'd take it. I've got no issue with that. But again, like you mentioned there, I'm happy to take another good fight.
Mhm.
But if these kids that got titles or whatever aren't willing to fight me, then what do I do?
Mm.
But I'm looking to fight. I'm happy to fight. I'll fight anyone. If you ever speak to my manager Lee, and he'll tell you I'd fight anyone. Yeah, it's these people that don't want to fight me because maybe it is that it's a risky fight, and I do believe personally I've not shown my full potential yet, and I'm willing. That's what I'm trying to do, and I'm happy to go into big fights to show that.
I spoke to you as well. When I look back at that GB squad that you were in, when you look at yourself, the Joe Cordinas, the Josh Taylors, the Anthony Joshuas, the Anthony Fowlers, the Andrew Selbys, gosh, I probably missed a couple of names out that you're going to probably say there, the Luke Campbells and stuff like that. Yeah,
But
that was probably the best GB squad for a
yeah,
long time.
yeah, yeah.
For a long time. Now, you mentioned there that you haven't reached your full potential. What is your immediate goal then right now? Obviously, you want the Danny Quartermaine fight because he has two very good belts in the IBF European, I think the WBO European.
Yeah.
What is your immediate goal right now? Let's think, because what are you, 30 years old now, Cass?
Just turned 31.
Yeah, so what's your immediate goal right now in the boxing game? Because you've achieved so much as an amateur, you've achieved so much already in the sport, but what do you want to do right now?
I still, like I say, for me personally, I still believe I can get to the top. I believe in, as you know yourself, I believe in God as well. I believe, everything happens in God's time and on God's plan. But yeah, like I said, for me, it's picking up titles and working my way to the top, and being in a position where I can say, you know what, this is where I know I'm meant to be, and potential wise, just showing my full potential, which I believe I'm very short of at the moment. But like I said, I do believe I can get to the top.
You said you've fallen short of your potential. You've obviously been in great fights. What can you pinpoint, obviously, with the losses that you've had in your career, which, again, you might look at the Liam Dillon fight, but that was an entertaining, grueling fight. And in the
Yeah,
Mason Abdullah fight, you showed guts, you showed heart in that fight. So you've showed that even though you may have lost those fights, that you do have something in you that's going to get
yeah.
you off the canvas to keep going. So when you look at that sort of super featherweight division right now, which has always been a good division here in the UK, when you look at the Josh Warringtons, the Anthony Kakachis, the Jazza Dickens, are those the names that you want to get to and beyond? Obviously.
100%. Like I say, I've always said to myself, if you're gonna do something, you do it to your best. You do it to get to the top.
Mm.
Um, and people might not agree with me on this, but like when you turn professional, if you're not turned professional to win a world title, then what are you doing here? But again, not everyone is as ambitious as me, I guess. But that's the way I've always seen it. And like all those names that you mentioned, again, not so on my radar right now, but if I have to go through them, I've got no issue going through them. And I do, like I said, I do believe I can get to the top and get to the very top. And that's again my aim, and that's all I'm trying to do. And unfortunately, in the pro game, it's a lot of a business as well, and that makes it a lot more complicated. Whereas obviously the amateur games, you win, you lose, you win, you lose, you get to where you need to be.
Fighting, you just keep fighting. Yeah. So that
Exactly.
like you say, the sport of boxing is more of a business, especially when you get to that professional bit. But again, when you look at that GB squad, like I mentioned there, when you look at Josh Taylor, Joshua, and guys like Joe Cordina winning world titles, does
Yeah.
that give you that hunger to be like, I can get there. I know I can get there. I just need the opportunity and I need the fights.
Yeah, exactly that. Like I said, I know I can get there. I have that grit in me. I've got that fire in me still. And you obviously seeing my good friends like Cordina, Coley, and all these guys doing so well. Does give you that extra reminder that listen, I can do it. You know, it's that motivation seeing them guys. So I was so happy to see all them boys doing so well. Like I say, I can have that grit and that belief in me, and I'm sure they do too, and they know that one day I can get there, and you know, God willing, if it's in God's plan, I will get there.
You said you're 31. Do you have? Are you in a rush, or do you think that you've not got a lot of miles on the clock that you can probably get there within the next couple of years?
Yeah, I feel that way. Like I feel fresh. If I felt like, you know, body was falling apart or I had some major injuries, something like that, it'd be a different situation. But I feel fresh, and you know, I had a long amateur career. People might say too long, but I think that was also what hindered me a little bit in the pros. But it took me a lot longer than a lot of fighters with the sort of style I had to adjust. But yeah, like I say, I feel fresh. I'm here until I feel fresh, and like I'm gonna keep pushing and keep believing in the dream that I have until I do feeling like I'm in a position where it's gonna affect me, not me physically as well. You know, so you gotta be smart with boxing.
Definitely. Now I've been in boxing since I was 10, and I've been in the sport for a long time. And I don't think any fighter is scared of any fighter. I think if you're in this sport, you're not scared of any man. But Danny Quartermaine has his sort of path right now with his team. So I'll end it on this, Cash. Do you have a message for Danny and his team?
My message for Danny would be: listen, everybody, well, apart from him and his coach, everybody wants to fight. It's a fight on TV. That DAZN want it. Izzy on promoter wants it. Adam Smith wants it. It's part of the team. So listen, end of the day, whatever your fears are, you've got to back up when you got them belts, and with them belts in hand, fight me. And if you do think you're better than me, I should prove it on the night. And if you can't, I'm taking them belts off you. And like I say, it's simple as that for me with Danny. I like to say, maybe not. He's not afraid of me, the person, as a boxer, but he's afraid to lose them belts. That's the feeling that I get. And I know what you're saying yourself, Andy, about you don't believe fighters are scared of anyone because of what they do. But I just feel like he's scared of the fact that I can take them belts off him. And on my night, I do generally believe I beat anyone. So it's as simple as that for me, really.
Gosh, listen, I've known you for a wee while now. You're one of the most genuine, nicest guys I've met in boxing. So I hope and I pray that you do get the fights that you want and need, and you fulfill the potential that with that GB squad, you would definitely win all that Commonwealth Games in 2014 when I watched you and all that sort of stuff. You were one of the guys that I was thinking alongside Josh Taylor and the Cordinas and Andrew Selby's that were going to just get to the top, and I still think you can. So hopefully you get them opportunities, like you say, it's a business, but fingers crossed them opportunities come your way, Cash, and we can see you get to where you need to be, want to be as well. But as always, I appreciate your time, brother, and hopefully you give me some news soon.
Definitely, hopefully. Appreciate it, bro.
Anytime, my man. Speak to you soon, Cash.
God bless.
Thank you.